Ay, I use a dub, I'ma win, I won't lose with this. Ay, yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. Ay, yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. Ay, yeah, I'ma act a fool with this. Ay, I turn the knob, can't resist, I'm incredible. Yeah, came for the dollars, call it vegetable. Then I did the dash, can I catch me, bro? Ooh, then I did the dash, can I catch me, whoa? Your whole team is no competition. Boy, I did it by myself, it's a solo mission. Running up the charts, I'm a fool, dog. Turn the whole field to a schoolyard. Bunch of students ain't eating around here. I'm the GOAT, little man, and I made it loud and clear.
Today, from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, this is the NFL on EA Sports.
Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from Arrowhead. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. They'll start with the option. And right away, he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
Sliding out of the pocket. And now he's going to use his legs. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
Shotgun snap to Mahomes. He'll run it. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Harrison Butker in a kickoff for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They will run for the first time with Miles Sanders. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
From the gun, it's Hurts. And the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. 30, the 20, 10, touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey, 73 yards. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Kansas City taking the field for their second drive, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
Demarcus Robinson, the intended target on that one. And it'll bring up third down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down in a 21-yard game.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense. You have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, it does hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up the first down.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
They'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. Touchdown, Kansas City. Travis Kelce, 32 yards. And the Chiefs have taken the lead.
And that was a beautiful ball right there as he waited for his tight end to come uncovered in the end zone, so give him points for patience as well. Delivered it right where it needed to be for 6 points.
It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. That time a 6-play drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. So back onto the field here come the Eagles for their second drive. And for them a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
2 yards the loss, second and 12. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on second and 12.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers put up their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And Sanders has it poked free, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they've dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up first and goal. Now here's Mahomes escaping the... And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Patrick Mahomes with a second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Chiefs are able to grow their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time when they got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got
Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
And with the play clock reading 4, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now Mahomes to the line as the Chiefs are going to go for the 2-point try. And here's Edwards-Helaire. They'll try and run it up the middle. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. Only had a couple of yards to gain there on the 2-point conversion, and they were able to do it.
And how many teams shy away from running the football in a 2-point conversion? They treat 2 yards as if it were 20. If you're a good team running the ball, go to your strength. Go ahead and push it into the end zone.
Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And he has brought this one back. A fumble recovery for a Chiefs touchdown. First quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over it.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead opens up now to 22 points.
Butler to kick off for Kansas City.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short.
Incomplete.
Try and run for it with Sanders. And he loses the football a second time. And I think the Chiefs have it. They do. He was trying to do anything he could to get that final little bit for the first down. Instead, he lost the ball.
Yeah, and he was short of the first down, but not by much. Trying his best, as you noted, to get there. Sometimes that extra effort can cost you.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
1st and 10 at the 20.
On play action, it's Mahomes. Flush to his right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
2nd quarter from Arrowhead. It's the Chiefs in possession. Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Going for it all. They're staring up at a 3rd and 9 to start it out.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Makes the score
So good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
Taken in the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive with a little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right? And, oh, my goodness, he loses it again, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And he has brought this one back. A fumble recovery for a Chiefs touchdown. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Butker now to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Pulls it in at the 13. And he loses the football a second time.
Oftentimes when we talk about piling on in any subject, it's a negative. In this case, for this team, it's a real positive. Just scored. Now they go down, knock the ball free, get it back. They got a chance to really increase their lead and put themselves in the drive.
This is caught by Hill for a Chiefs touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 29 yards. And the Chiefs have got it on cruise control. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever. There it results in a touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Taken about 7 yards deep. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Now back to work for Miles Sanders in the Philly offense. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more. Try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up.
Looks like they went for the combo play there. A nice ample gain on the ground on the previous play. Going for the big shot on that one unsuccessfully.
It's a second down run with Sanders. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
The second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And that is incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
On is the punter, Johnston now, as he sends this one away. Pushing through the contact. Still churning. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes.
Well, maybe that can give them a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Looking to throw on second down. Mahomes. And he's going to keep it here. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for third.
Here's brought down by Darius Slay. That's a gain of 7. Brings up
The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on third down. It'll buy some time right. Well, Mahomes can't get away, and down he goes. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
And going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for the Kansas City touchdown. Tyreek Hill. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Chiefs just continue to pour it on.
I think you can make a fair case for Tyreek Hill being the most explosive player in the NFL when he gets his hands on the football, and that was Exhibit A.
Well, in this league where coordinators worry so much about drawing up the right routes, blocking assignments, misdirections and stuff, they have these precise arrows and movements. Sometimes the best plays just come from the schoolyard where you look at your fastest guy and say, go long, go get it, big man.
to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
Taken about 7 yards deep and not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell?
And now nothing but green ahead of him. He's at the 40. And this will set them up nicely deep down in KC territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 57 yards.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line.
And the Eagles are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime.
Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts.
His pass caught at the 4. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That catch good for only a couple. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders there to make the grab. And the Eagles are able to eat in just a bit to this sizable deficit.
Jake Elliott.
Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but his top 2 options were not available on that throw, so he went the safe route. Worked out pretty well.
It was like you were in the pocket. How about you going through the progressions like that? What a lot of offenses say, touchdown to check down. Look downfield first, bring it back to the line of scrimmage. Not easy for a rookie to do. Oftentimes they get one look, and they make their decision off of that. He went through 3. That was impressive.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
And we put our focus now on Le'Veon Bell. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the second quarter.
And a lot of that is pride, because these types of backs want to be in the center.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Wipes out the big play.
And I know this is the NFL, so they would probably fine you for this type of a penalty. But when I was in college, you used to have to do up-downs for the number of yards that you cost a team in a big play.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That one covers 29 yards. First down.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
Here, we're going to get a timeout by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. He's going to take off with it and bulldozing his way through. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That was a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. He's going to take off with it. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
That's another Kansas City Chiefs. First down. First and 10.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back. Well, that came a little abruptly here. Still working on my apple up in the booth. Hang on here. Let me spit this out. And we can get to the third quarter now. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. Now he'll pull it down. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 10 and a Kansas City first down. Here's Mahomes to throw. He'll try and run it. They'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
On that play, as you saw the route start to develop downfield, I got the sense that maybe the run would set up for him, and he took full advantage of it and got a big gain on a busted play.
He's going to look deep for Watkins and nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. Inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 25 yards that time. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown run. And this offense is running away with this one.
The Chiefs will set up.
Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh. Davis dance from the top rope. I like it.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the... Extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there, and sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Fielded in the end zone, and not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
You think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
He'll get this complete to Jalen Reagor. And it's a fumble, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. These defenses have become so opportunistic, and no matter what you're playing, in this case, wide receiver, you got to be careful.
Certainly do, because there is a phrase in today's football that we use all the time, completing the process of the catch. Well, it's after you do that where the trouble begins, right? Meaning you've tucked it away, you're trying to get downfield, but someone's always coming up trying to rake at the ball and knock it free.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a 1st down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace.
Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And it's picked up by the Eagles.
behind the ball carrier.
Partner, you know how often we hear about the red zone, right? From the 20-yard line going in, that scoring zone, getting points on the board. A lot of teams talk on the
Dang, man, I guess we're looking at the wrong side right here.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Very fortunate to get another shot. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try and run it in with Bell. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Le'Veon Bell able to make it in from a yard out. And the Chiefs use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. It was the big run that got them down into position, and then they finish it off one play later with a touchdown pass.
Yeah, and they've got them really thinking to themselves, after that big run, they're probably going to come back and hit us again with the same thing or something similar. Instead, they go to the air, and it's a touchdown that way.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Taken about 7 yards deep and not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it now because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. So we're getting symptomatic.
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Throwing is Hurts. Looking for Jeffrey, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bashaud Breeland. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. They brought the house that time on the young rookie, maybe a little rattled through the pick.
And you have to be prepared for a lot of pressure as a rookie quarterback because most defensive coordinators are going to test you that way. So when you see that, the ball's got to get out of your hands quickly, and that means your receivers have to understand they have to break off their routes quickly as well.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this one is incomplete. Sammy Watkins, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
Well, defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
Buying time to his left. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City. Sammy Watkins, 37 yards. And thanks to the interception, the Chiefs offense cashes in with 6. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy two-play drive that time.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Taken in the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Now a carry for Sanders. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. 3rd and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him, and what I mean by that is what you said, 3rd and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
Mahomes now to throw. Flushed out right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And they brought the pressure there just right up the gut, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. And, you know, when you've got so many different responsibilities as an offensive line, you got to deal with the nose tackle, the 2 defensive tackles or ends, and then sometimes you just can't account for everyone. The linebacker slipped free.
Eagles 14.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. Now Mahomes. They'll roll him out right. And now he's going to use his legs. Give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. The Chiefs on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about.
Defense.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
It's so close. He gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
First and goal at the 1-yard line.
To throw, it's Mahomes. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Chiefs use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by 1 more.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 2nd down. Here's Hurts. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty is a result of that hit there.
Now left side on the swing pass. That catch good for only a couple. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling him almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now once more, he was looking for Alshon Jeffrey, and it's third down.
Hurts.
And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down. Now defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete passer we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
He's brought down after a very nice gain. A gain there of 30 big ones.
That's good for a Kansas City Chiefs.
And now the clock will stop as he's able to get up and spike it here. From midfield, here's Mahomes. He'll run it. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a third and short, 3rd and 1.
Brings up 3rd and
the Chiefs on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, where our booth is here, we can see all of the writers to our left, and their post-game stories, Charles, they have been filed for some time because this game, boy, is it lopsided.
Yeah, we can see our guy Scoop. He's even got his fedora tipped over his face. I think he's taking a nap now. Nothing left to write for him, but how gratifying has it been for them to see what they've done in practice and carry it into a game and see the execution be so good. They've got to feel fantastic about what they've accomplished in this one.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And oh, he coughed it up. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Looking downfield, this is caught inside the 15. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That one good for 37 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Well, they mentioned this week, Charles, they had a couple kinks on offense that they wanted to fix. I would say they're pretty well fixed.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, just about everything they've run has been successful in this one. And if I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm done with this, right? I have no answers for anything. In fact, I'll probably send a note to the clock operator. Let it run.
Extra point right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. Touchback. The Eagles just about set to go to work on offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. His throw incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Jalen Reagor was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Second down, here's Jalen Hurts. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They go ahead and mark it in the win column, but as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. Partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Rolling to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They're going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 30. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible. Now, this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown.
Harrison Butker to kick off for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. pulls it in at the 13. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look.
They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo
exactly.
going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Bashaud Breeland. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
And you have to wonder, Charles, in a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
1st and 10 at the
Mahomes going to throw it here. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. One thing that we know for sure, do not question the arm strength of Patrick Mahomes, one of the strongest around.
And I'm telling you, nothing will let up a crowd more than a play like that. Here in the stadium, all eyes were on the receiver streaking downfield, and you know everyone was thinking, throw it, he's open. What a connection there for the touchdown.
And the final number on that throw, boy, it traveled an even 69 yards. Butker on for the PAT. And oh, it's no good on the PAT, so they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is.
Harrison Butker at a kickoff for Kansas City.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. That's fielded on the back line of the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook? You haven't. Hurts fumbles it. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And that will set them up in excellent shape. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more. Little insult to injury here late in the game. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And this one is right through. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.